Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. In this video, we're going to cover the top 10 questions that people have about Hilton Head. And so we're going to get into it right now. All right, so the first question everyone asks here is, where can I go to the beach? Well, fortunately for you, all along the east coast of Hilton Head, there are tons of super wide beaches, and especially at low tide, plenty, plenty of beaches to visit. Over on the intercoastal way, obviously not, but you have miles and miles and miles along the beaches along the east side. The second question here is, where can you park your car when you're at the beach? So we talked a little bit about this before on the channel, but the island is broken into different communities or different plantations, as they're referred to commonly. So when you're staying in a villa or in a single family home or in a townhome, typically it comes with parking rights to access the beach. So for instance, say like in Palmetto Dunes, if you stay in Lake Queens Grant, there's a couple places that you can park within Palmetto Dunes to have super, quick access to the beach. And so if you make it to one of the public beaches, like say Caligny Beach down, kind of like on the southeast side of the island, there's typically public parking readily available. Obviously, during the high season between say Memorial Day and Labor Day, becomes a little more tricky. You got to get out there a little bit earlier, but again, tons of beach, no problem with that part at all. But parking can be a bit of a headache, especially for the public beaches. But for the private beaches, if you aren't within walking distance, 5-10 minutes to the beach, typically there's opportunities to park throughout the plantations themselves. There are tons of parks. This is number 3, by the way. There are tons of parks on the island. One of our favorites is Shelter Cove, just across the street, across 278 from Palmetto Dunes. That's where we spend the bulk of our time, obviously. And it's a fairly new park. I think it's been there for about the last 4 or 5 years. But the kids love it. We love it because there's a French bakery right there and a couple coffee shops and stuff. So we can go early in the morning and get out some of that early energy, if you will. But number 4, there is a nature preserve, actually a couple nature preserves that you can visit in the Low Country. And one on Hilton Head as well that we love to visit. It's just probably like right in the middle of the island, just a little north of Palmetto Dunes. So this is a great question. Number 5 here, where can I launch my boat? So I think the most popular one is either A, at the marinas or at the harbors. Typically you're paying for a slip or access to that launch, but there is a public launch just as you come onto the island. So as you're crossing over the first bridge, there's like a little tiny island there where the first bridge ends and the second bridge begins. There's a little boat ramp right there on the right. What can you do if it rains? Well, fortunately for you, there is a wonderful movie theater just as you come onto the island, probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 miles on the island. And that's definitely one of the top, couple things that we do when it is raining, because it is coastal South Carolina. So rain is almost always inevitable. What can we do with kids besides go to the beach and pool? This is number 7. So as I mentioned, there's the nature preserves, there's parks, there are the many like putt courses and stuff, 2 or 3 of them around the island. And then, of course, there is the movie theater. And then they just added, just off the island, there's go-kart racing now right outside the island with K1. I think it's Speed K1 or K1 Speed. I can never remember which way it goes. But there is a go-karting course that's indoors as well, just off the island, not actually truly on the island. But there's a lot of other things that you can do instead of just go to the beach and the pool. What can you do with your teenagers if you come to Hilton Head? Well, again, there's a lot of outdoor activities. So, one of our nieces is now a teenager, and she enjoys biking throughout, the different communities. But also, there's kayaking and stuff, to get you engaged with the water, but not necessarily in the water. And of course, there's a couple. I don't want to call them teen hangouts, but for lack of a better term, too big for the playgrounds, maybe too small for the, go-karting stuff by themselves. But there's a mall, of course, in Shelter Cove, where a ton of teenagers hang out throughout the course of the summer. Number 9 here is, you want to go fishing. Where can you find some fishing charters? So the 2 first places that I would consider going would be like South Beach area down near like Salty Dog and Sea Pines. There's an opportunity to do that down there, and then there's another one. Um, Actually, there's two more. Sorry, I'll take that back. Three places I would do. So two in Sea Pines, one at Harbor Town, and then the other down at South Beach. And again, both harbors. So you've got tons of charters available there. And then if you go north, almost off the island, over near Lake Hudson's, and there's another restaurant over there I'm blanking on. But anyway, there's another. You can rent jet skis, boats, pontoon boats, stuff like that. But you can also do fishing charters out of there as well. And then this one, I actually do want to click on to give you guys their perspective on this, because this is just one man's opinion. So take it for whatever it's worth. But obviously, Sea Pines is a hot destination for a lot of tourists, but also, if you're just visiting, if you're trying to get a feel for, the community or even the island itself, that's kind of the picturesque type places to visit. Harbor Town being the home of the lighthouse, of course, and you've got the Coligny Circle area here with all the public beach, the shopping, a ton of restaurants, which I think they just updated this report. There's now 250 restaurants on Hilton Head, which leaves you no shortage of options when it comes to eating. But yeah, if there's ever anything you guys are looking to do while you're visiting, or if you ultimately end up moving, you can always feel free to leave a comment down below. I'm happy to help direct you or guide you to help find the perfect activity for you or your family or whatever you're looking to do while you're down there. If it's a girls trip or a guys trip or whatever you're looking to do, we can always help you out with that. So you can leave a comment down below. You can always call, text, or email, or also set up a Zoom to chat more about the Hilton Head and Low Country area in Hilton Head and South Carolina. But hopefully this was helpful. I wanted to keep this one kind of short and sweet, just kind of give you guys a little bit better idea of the things that a lot of people ask questions about when they're in Hilton Head, when they're thinking about visiting Hilton Head, but also when they're moving there. They want to know, what can we do once we live there? Like, how does that compare to our current, lifestyle? And I would say, for the most part, a lot of people in Hilton Head are very, very active. You got walkers and runners and bikers and a lot of triathletes doing training as well. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful. But as always, if you guys ever have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave a comment down below or shoot me a text, call, or email. Would love to chat with you soon. And as always, our team is getting a ton of calls now down here in the Hilton Head area about buying, selling, and investing. So if you guys ever have questions about the real estate market, if you need a market report or need to, kind of see what's available or what's sold recently, we can always do that for you as well. Don't want you to ever feel like you can't reach out on that stuff as well. But hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.